Hi everyone, it's Simon here from Higher Plane Games, bringing you a review for Cruz Brothers. The PS4 version is the version I tested, but it's also available on PC and I believe Xbox One as well. This is an indie-developed boxing-style fighting game from 1 to 4 players, depending on what mode you go for, and you can either do a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2 fighting match, essentially. The game itself, however, is very simplistic once you get beneath its unique styled feel for its graphics and for its cutscenes. The main combos that you have translate across every single character, so it doesn't matter who you pick up, you've still got the same square square X or triangle triangle X for a combo, and you can only ever really do 2 or 3 buttons at a time. There's a special move that people can do as well as being able to block and defend attacks. Each fighter, therefore, feels almost identical, and so it doesn't matter what type of skin that you've got on, all of your moves translate across, and because there's only really about 6 to 8 moves, it instantly feels like you're really limited in the scope of what you can or can't do. Where the characters do change, however, is in their stats of how quickly an attack is supposedly meant to happen, although I didn't really find that this was much different across characters. Different characters have different levels of HP, which I found really weird, in that instantly someone could have 200 more HP than your other opponent, therefore they've got 1/6 of a health bar advantage before you get going. And also apparently the strength of how hard attacks get hit. However, when this goes into practice and you're actually battling, none of this seems to really matter because the camera crossed with the latency of button pressing makes it all feel very irrelevant. When you press a button, it seems really hit and miss as to whether it actually wants to do anything or not. And this isn't to do with the stamina bar that you've got underneath your HP bar. Not that that stamina bar is actually explained anywhere in the game whatsoever. And when you've got your special attack, it's just as much around trying to multi-bash that out so that you can win, because quite often the punches back and forth kind of even themselves out because it's just whoever pressed the button first, and after a couple you're knackered, so then the other person takes over anyway. It means that battles all feel very generic, very the same, but then also later on actually quite headache inducing. The reason for this is that whenever it thinks that you're going in for a combo, the camera dramatically zooms into the characters itself. Now that works okay when you're doing a 1 versus 1 fight, but in a 2 versus 2, the camera doesn't quite know where to go because people might be doing combos at the same time. So the camera flicks from one to the other, you can't see what's going on. Whenever the camera pans in, the action slows down, and so you're kind of flipping back and forth in this dramatic camera style slow-mo, but you lose complete focus on exactly what's going on in the fight itself, and so everything degenerates into a complete and utter mess. Add to that the game can't keep up with frame rates anyway, and the audio clips horrifically, specifically in the cutscenes, which are so badly voiced over that it's got into that so bad it's good category. Think Karate Kid 12, and you're kind of there. But it does have its own charm, and I really do like the fact that they've got this hand-drawn comic cutscenes that work out like a film over about 12 or 13 chapters. If you're looking for a story mode, actually, even though it's as cheesy as all hell, they've done really well in that regard, and that's great. But the game actually then falls down when it gets to the actual fighting experience itself. So between the camera, the slowdown, the unresponsive controls, the fact that the characters look and feel the same, it just all kind of meshes into this big pile of meh. Which is a shame, because there's actually quite a lot going. Aside from the story mode itself, it also has just general fighting championships that you can dive into, and that's all well and good. You have sparring matches where you can just kind of push buttons back and forth, and that's fine. And you have the 2 versus 2 like special party mode, which reminds me more of Double Dragon than anything else. However, as you move through all of these things, more and more customization options and more championships and chapters in the story come unlocked with XP. But the XP is really weirdly gated in the fact that you can't just play through story mode from beginning to end and hope that that gets you enough XP sometimes to get you through the levels. I don't know if it was a bug with my particular copy, but sometimes XP didn't really translate to what it said that you was giving, and then you'd actually end up that you couldn't play through the story mode just as is, so you'd have to dive out and do matches elsewhere in other modes so that you could actually then get enough XP to then dive back into the story to continue, so it doesn't feel properly weighted to me. Add to that the story mode gives you sometimes about 25 times more XP than just doing a standard match, and you kind of think, well, why am I doing a standard match? Just give me the right XP. What it does do though is it completely gates some of the later on characters that you get, some of the later championships that you get, so it then becomes more of a chore to keep going, and I can understand why they've done it, it needed to be reduced slightly in my personal opinion. So it's really rare that you get indie fighters giving things a go, because you have to have that level of capability to be able to pull off a fighting game that is responsive, can keep up graphically and engine wise, and it's a real shame to say that Cruz Brothers currently in its format does not do that. There's a lot of heart behind things. The so bad it's good story mode is cringe-worthy and chucklesome all at the same time, and I really do applaud them for giving it a go and trying that. If they're able to tighten up the controls in the future, this game would end up being a bit like
a blue margarita should be
not kick beat, dive kick, where you've just got like the one hit kill type thing. There's more depth involved, but if they can sort out the unresponsiveness of the controls and just give a little bit less of a dramatic camera pan in that slows down all of the gaming because it's so disorientating, there is a niche little title here that may impress some people. So I hope that was informative. Thanks for watching. There will be a written review of this over on the higherplayinggames.com. Until next time, you guys take care. Bye for now.
Close all non-members' accounts and send them home. Shit is about to hit
This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.